Welcome to Cisco Tech Beat, the podcast that explores the people and stories behind what inspires the newest innovation. I'm your host, AB, and I have two new friends. Shorter than 36 hours ago, we met, and I'll tell you who they are. I've got Sam Charrington, enterprise AI industry analyst, advisor and strategist, and host of the Twimmel AI podcast. And I've got Pascal. That is you. And I got Pascal Bornet, AI expert, agentic AI pioneer, and best-selling author. Gentlemen, my friends, welcome to Tech Beat.
Thanks for having us.
So we are in the middle of Cisco Live 2026,
yeah, we are.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now we are here.
Yeah, we are here.
On the
Cisco
floor.
Live. On the floor. And we're not
house.
actually on the floor yet, but we are on the floor, the show floor. We might be on the floor later. So we were actually, when we met, we joked about the fact that it would be fun to do a podcast. We didn't think we were actually going to do an episode. And of course, here we are doing a great episode. So I really thank you for making time on short notice to do this. So basically, I want to start off with like an origin story because you guys are both so deep in the AI world. But if you were to rewind back a bit and think about what inspired you or the experiences you had when you were younger that even got you into tech in the first place. Let me start with you, Sam. What comes to mind?
I'm a Star Wars era kid, so I've been long enchanted with the idea of intelligent machines that, support us, help us achieve our goals, help us be superheroes.
That's right.
Fast forward a lot of years. I got re-exposed to the idea in grad school through just a book I happened to come across. I think it was Scripts, Goals, Plans, and Understanding by Roger Schenck.
Okay.
And I've been keeping an eye on the technology ever since. And 10 years ago, I saw the writing on the wall.
That's
and
right.
started a podcast about it to really force myself to stay up to date.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I love it. I think Star Wars was probably a big influence on a lot of people who end up getting into tech.
Of a certain age.
Of a certain age. of a certain pedigree. No. Hey, Pascal, how about you?
I think it started first by the counterintuitive idea that technology can make our world more human. And what really gets me started is sharing on social media about those technologies that help our world, like help cure diseases, help humanitarian disaster recovery. All this, help with safety and so on. So sharing about this on social media was something very, very important for me because I think that's meaningful and that's a vision that inspires me.
Right.
And on a more work point of view, I used to be working for McKinsey and for EY, and for those two consulting companies, as I was living in Asia for a long time, I used to help companies, multinational companies, bring their back office functions to Asia,
right?
Like finance, supply chain, all those recurring transactional activities to Asia. And then came AI, robotic process automation, all those automations that could help get those supports back to the original countries.
Right.
So I decided to focus on that, and that was the beginning of me getting into hands-on into AI and automation.
I love that. It's just amazing what can influence you to get, but you can't really predict where you're going to be, but we're here for a reason, so it's great. Love to hear that.
Exactly. And I think having a broader vision and a meaning behind that is so important.
Absolutely. I wanted to stick with you for a second because you mentioned automation. I know you're deep into hyper automation, right? And we know that in the future, managers are going to actually have to really find a way to manage both people and agents, which is challenging. And how can they do that in a way that helps their human workers work with agents, but not feel like the agents are going to actually replace them? They're not training them to then replace them.
Yeah, definitely. So that's such an important point. So as agents are entering our teams, we as managers have to make sure that our team members find their place, position themselves, and don't feel threatened by those agents. I have a methodology that I explain in my books, which is about, first of all, informing our people why those technologies are coming in our teams, what are the goals of this,
right?
And being very transparent with each and every one of the team members what's going to happen for you, for your work, your scope of work currently. Is it going to change? Isn't it not going to change? Are you going to transfer to another department? Will you do something else? I'm very, very clear. I've seen some talents leaving companies because they were not aware of what would happen to them. And they were scared, so they sent their CVs to the competitors and they got hired. So informing is so important. Then it's educating, of course. So giving the people the opportunity to learn how to use them.
Right.
Empowering them. That's the third one, giving them the access basically to those tools. And finally, incentivizing them, incentivizing the people, our team members, on using those systems, being hands-on, failing at trying to implement them.
Right.
I think the more we are not anymore in a waterfall, long projects as we used to be 10 years ago. Now we are in small projects, iterative, and the more we fail, the more we succeed.
Right.
So we need to push our team members, fail at this so that you can succeed.
Sure.
And we need to reward that. So the incentives are so important because they reward the good behaviors, the behaviors we want to see in our team members.
That's right. And failure is such an important aspect when it comes to like growth. You have to fail first to then, grow and get better. What about for you in terms of like what you're seeing within the AI sphere? Are you seeing some of the same challenges? Are people worried about the replacement aspect of AI and what they'll be doing? What's top of mind for you?
People are certainly worried about that. I tend to work more with the practitioners. And what they're really struggling with is just keeping up with the pace of change. This technology is changing so quickly. Every day, every week, there are new models, new tools, new technologies. And there's a high degree of overwhelm on the part of the practitioner with, should I be looking at this new tool? Should I be trying this new model?
Yeah.
And it really gets in the way of just like rolling up the sleeves and going hands-on and trying to build something. And that's really the only way to get comfortable with the technology and what it's capable of.
Yeah.
It requires, I've used this analogy before.
Okay.
You can't learn to ride a bike by reading a book or reading some blog posts. You got to get on the bike and scrape some knees.
That's right. That's right.
It's the same with AI and agents.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
So people need to be hands-on and try and fail again. But something I like to say as well is it's about us as managers teaching them how to fish, but not giving them the fish. Why am I saying that? It's not about, I think classroom training is finished. Whenever you just enter the cross the door of the classroom training, the content that you will learn is already obsolete.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So what I like to do is ask my team members, give them 20% of their working time so that they can by themselves keep themselves informed and updated about what's coming out.
Right.
Instead of getting them 2 weeks away in a classroom that is already obsolete, giving them everyday time and guidance from me. So what podcasts should you be listening to so that you're sure to have the right information, which news, and giving them also the access to those tools so they can try them and work on them and be hands-on. That's so important.
And I'd add that holds true not just for the practitioners or the leaders team, but the leaders need to get hands-on as well. They need to be in whatever they're using, whether it's Claude or OpenAI or Gemini. They need to have that hands-on experience because the technology is somewhat nuanced today. Like, understanding what it can do well, what it can't really do well.
Right.
Again, you can't read about it. You have to bang your head against it for a while, and that'll give you real insight into what your team's experiences are
and managers should lead by example.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So what you tell your team to do, you should do it yourself.
Absolutely.
This is really an interesting thing that you're saying because Cisco recently did a study, a full comprehensive research with over 80,000 employees where we found that people were really influenced by their managers and that leadership had to embrace AI so that and really adopt it so that their teams would feel more comfortable utilizing that in their everyday work plans. So I think it's actually interesting to hear others outside of my company. I don't own Cisco, not yet. It's gonna call it Abisco soon. No, but it's just interesting to hear others who are not really attached to Cisco saying really the same thing about really leading by example, like adopting it, using it, and then encouraging others to utilize that technology. That's really cool. I kind of want to go back to sci-fi for a second.
Okay.
So, do you think, is there like a sci-fi movie that you think got the future hilariously wrong? like a book, a movie? I mean, I'm sure there are a lot. Or is there one that actually hit closer to the mark? Is there a sci-fi movie that you say, you know what? There's some stuff in there actually either came to fruition or we're kind of close to that.
I mean, so many of them. Like, what jumps to mind for me as soon as you said that was the classic Space Odyssey. Space Odyssey.
Yes.
And it's like, I can't do that, Hal. And how often have we been interacting with? I think we're a little bit beyond like the rejection phase of LLMs.
Right.
But there was this period of time where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to answer that question for you, Sam. So that was on the nose.
Yeah. Oh, that was definitely accurate. Yeah.
For me, Iron Man is everything.
Oh, Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Really?
Iron Man. No. As being our future, I believe, and being a kind of a roadmap, a vision for the agentic technology of the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That makes sense. Yeah.
What's his name? Jarvis, being
Yes.
the agent that does everything for you, that understands,
Yeah.
that predicts, that goes beyond your needs. I mean, responding your needs before you even know them.
Right.
and being really multi-support across everything you can do. But we are very far from that. Very, very far from
exactly.
that.
I was gonna say, I know that we're not all the way there yet.
No, but some people might believe we are already there with a few agents doing things for us.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I think it's really misleading and bringing a lot of companies into trouble.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Speaking of not getting there yet, we also haven't gotten to time travel yet, as far as I know. But if you could, and this doesn't have to be an AI thing, and it doesn't even have to be a technology-related person, but are there people that you've thought to yourself, man, if I could sit in a room with X, Y, and Z just to have a conversation, are there people that pop up for you that you would really be interested in talking to that either are not around anymore or you just don't have access to? Have you ever thought of that? Like,
I think I was very drunk that night.
oh man.
Embracing humility, there are lots of people that I would have liked to have had the opportunity to speak, going as far back to, ancient Egyptian scientists, the Greeks, even I started a podcast so I can sit down with people, who have been doing amazing things and talk to them, and even sit down with people who I feel like are doing amazing things that don't get enough amplification. That was really a core value, or is a core value for the podcast, is kind of amplifying innovation that, may not be known.
Sure.
So I think I will, certainly co-sign the, conversation as a way to like understand and share innovation.
Yeah.
I think it's super important.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I know it's a very broad question, so you could go in any direction. How do you answer that?
My answer would be maybe meeting with Gita, the ancient Hindu, or Jesus, or
right.
Socrates, or
yes, ancient philosophers. Anyone who can impart some wisdom.
Exactly, that can explain where we are today, and I'm sure they would have great insight on how to make our world move today.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because a lot of what they've told us is still valid today and completely relevant, and we could apply it. So if they were here, the amount of insight they could give us could be
absolutely. Well, speaking of the ancient philosophers and whomever, that was a very analog world, and I kind of want to dive into the analog world for us. What I mean by that is, let's remove ourselves for a second from technology. What is a ritual, or what are habits or hobbies or loves, passions that you have that are in the analog world that bring you balance, bring you joy, or just, make you feel human again? Anything come to mind?
Definitely. I call it those reset activities.
Yes, there we go.
You go detox, you go away from your phone and from anything. I love going to music festivals.
Yeah.
I went to Rockville recently.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that at dinner. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going around the world to rock festivals, and you spend 4 days, just being high with the music.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And what else? I love scuba diving. So scuba
beautiful.
diving is something that I do with my family, my kids, my wife.
Wow. Okay.
We go, the 4 of us. We go and explore the deep of the oceans, and over there you don't have any reception, so
You
no
can't be-
signal.
So you don't want to be TikToking while you're like in a reef. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. And how about you, Sam?
For me, a few things come to mind. I enjoy outdoors activities. I think when I think of grounded, like it's being in the outdoors, hiking, kayaking. My wife and sister and brother-in-law recently did the Cotswolds Way, which is a 100-mile like walking path through the Western UK.
Yes.
I enjoy travel quite a bit, and in particular, I enjoy traveling in places that are non-English speaking and immersing myself in, those languages. And prior to like cramming those languages and like trying to communicate with, folks that I wouldn't otherwise be able to communicate with.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think in terms of like my daily reset activity, it is making an espresso in the morning.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we were talking about how coffee is definitely, and no pun intended, grounding experience. Like, that's a ritual that you just have for those of us who drink coffee, right? Or tea, but you got to have something like that in the morning. Love that. And just so you know, I do love the outdoors too. I do love to travel. I used to do music professionally, like on the engineering side and stuff. So I do believe that those kinds of things are so important. And it's nice to also work for a company that champions well-being, and it sounds like those are things that are important to you and the people that you work with and family and everything. So that's really great. Love that.
I think it's a lot about being in the flow.
Yes,
being
the
in
flow state.
The flow state is so important. And being connected to the universe or to something higher.
Absolutely. So you host the Twimmel AI podcast.
I do.
We talked about it a little bit, but for anyone listening who is not familiar with the show, how did that start, and what do you hope people get from that when they watch it?
Yeah, what's super crazy about the origin story of the podcast is that it started about 10 years ago at a time when I thought AI was super exciting and there was so much happening.
Right.
And in comparison to now, it was quiet times. But at that time, I was immersed in, deep learning and, all these emerging technologies. And I finish every week with 50 or 75 tabs in my browser.
Wow.
And I had this great idea of like starting a podcast to like force myself, like a public commitment to whittle through all those tabs, boil them down to 8 or 10 and talk about them and, help people understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And a couple of things grew out of that. The most important was, my wife said, I don't really like that you like lock yourself in your office on Friday and come out on Monday having done this podcast. So the news format pivoted to interviews.
Oh, yeah.
But now we're, 700 something in, and
Wow.
I've had an opportunity to meet some really amazing people.
Wow.
And I really try to keep a balanced guest profile between folks that are on the cutting edge of research, folks that are, in enterprises trying to deploy this technology to create value.
Sure.
And folks that are, developers or in startups, and give people a broad cross section of what's happening in the space, agentic, but also computer vision and other modalities that, don't get as much play nowadays.
I love that. And Pascal, going from to different medium, you're an author and you've now just written your 4th book, right? Talk to me about that process of writing. What has that done for you? And what is the nature of this 4th book? What's the important thing to know about that?
So writing books, first of all, has changed my life. I used to be a consultant for more than 20 years. And during COVID, everything paused. Most of the projects were on pause. And I was by myself in my office wondering what will I do. And I started to write down all those critical success factors that I used to tell my clients.
Right.
You should do this if you want to avoid that. We've seen this happening. You should not do that. Writing all this down, and then all this took form and shape into a book.
Yeah.
That I was thinking, next time I go to a consulting engagement, I will give the book to my clients and say, first, read the book. So I don't need to repeat all these things, and it's better explained there than I can do.
Yes.
And from this book that I wrote 6-7 years ago now, when I published it, I received a lot of requests from companies to come and talk about it in their companies as a keynote speaker.
Right.
That's why I decided to quit my job as a consultant and start working for myself, giving keynotes, sharing about it on social media.
Sure.
Still doing a little bit of consulting, but for myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so the book changed my life. Okay, so the first one changed my life, and over there, I mean, this is my fourth book today that was released a month ago.
Wow.
That's an opportunity. Writing a book is for me the opportunity to step back, research, talk to my clients, to the companies I help on a consulting point of view, understanding their problems, finding ways and testing with them new solutions, and sharing all this into a book that gives insight and that really helps. The purpose is really to be helpful.
Absolutely. I love that. I can feel the passion for both, from both of you in terms of like what you're involved with, your show, your writing, and it's nice. It's nice to be able to work on something that you actually like.
Yeah, definitely.
I know.
And when I write, I'm in the flow state.
Oh, you are definitely. You don't even know your arms moving. You're just like, It's like, no, I love that. That's great. I think to wrap up, and we talked a lot about the need for organizations and individuals to sort of not be too afraid and to adopt AI and look at it as a positive thing as opposed to it's going to replace me. If you were to give advice to, and this doesn't have to be like at the ultimate enterprise level, but anyone who is thinking about getting into AI who hasn't already and is a little bit worried about it, do you have any words of advice just that, hey, a way to start? Like, is it a slow burn? Is it a slow cooker thing they should do? Is it a blender? What would be the best way for somebody who really doesn't know a lot about AI to kind of immerse themselves within the technology? I know it's a broad thing going on, but any words of advice?
Besides from listen to the Twimmel AI podcast.
That's right, people.
I think one thing that's kind of amazing about learning today is that you can go to your favorite AI and ask it to give you a path.
That's right.
And it will surface resources for you. And that can be much more customized than, any advice you would have gotten in the past. You can talk about your interests. You can talk about your experiences. First of all, you can engage in a dialogue with the AI about all of these things and get back a very customized, essentially like a curriculum, like a set of resources. And then you can iterate on that. So, I did that course that you suggested. It was great here, but it wasn't great there. Give the model some feedback and get some different recommendations. So I think that would probably be the first thing that I suggest, but there are so many resources out there.
Yeah.
And it's also the barrier to getting started is very low now. So,
sure, absolutely.
I would also go back to roll up your sleeves, try something. Think about, what are your interests outside of AI and how they might be supported by AI. Maybe you have an idea for an app. You can go build the app now. Just vibe code the app and see, how far you can get. That is an opportunity now that is super exciting and is new.
I think that's a really great point. Finding a use case that is particular to you, because I think there are a lot of people out there who want to use AI just for the sake of using AI, but to really think about what it is you do, what might be missing in terms of gaps, how can I make this thing up level, this thing that I do or that I like, and AI is incredibly great at that, and it just takes your, just trying things. You're not going to break anything right now, anyway. So we should be fine with that. Well, how about you, Pascal?
I would, I completely agree with you, and that's about using AI to answer the needs that all of us have. What do you need to do? How, and then wonder what can AI do for me to help me in achieving this goal.
That's right.
So the closer you are to the need and to the environment of the people where they are working or living, the better it is and the more value you can create from it.
Absolutely.
And that's valid in companies as well.
Yeah.
Now it's the closer you are to the work that is currently performed by people, the better the more chance you have for those people to use AI, because it's going to be useful to them, and it's not going to be a friction for them to go to the tool.
Right.
The tool is already in their environment.
That's right. That's right.
But I have a question for you. Do you think still people are wondering this question? What can I do with AI?
Well, you know what it is? I have found that in talking to some of the like older generations, even people in my family and others, what I end up telling them, because I think it's the starting of the process that is sometimes a barrier. Not so much the idea that AI can do a lot of things, but they don't even sometimes know how to jump into it. And a lot of times I say to people, when you prompt, something, talk to it like a friend. Like it's not the kind of thing where it has to be so specific and formal and it requires this, that. If you really talk to it like you were trying to explain something to somebody, you have a problem. Hey, oh my gosh, I have this problem. I don't know how to do this. You can talk like that to AI. And the more you talk naturally and reveal what you really need, it's going to give you, a better response. So I think if anybody does not think that AI can do something for them in a positive way, that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to criticize, but it can. It can, man. Trust me. It does.
I'd put a point on something that we kind of have talked about a little bit, and that is that there are multiple ways to use AI, but in particular, I'm trying to emphasize two different things. One is interacting with AI and kind of getting that, value from the AI itself.
Right.
And that can be, just talking to a chatbot, ChatGPT, whatever. That can be more an agentic experience where that thing is hooked into other things that you use and care about, and using it as a kind of a portal into, taking actions on your behalf and in these systems that you care about. But also the idea that AI can help you create things, can help you build things, it's very, very powerful.
Yes.
And when I think about the ways that AI has impacted, me personally and my business in particular, it's not so much that, I get to talk to this thing and it tells me, it can do research for me. That's important. But I have invested in building out tools that like automate whole swaths of my workflow.
That's right.
And those things, now when I launch them, they're not AI per se, but AI enabled those things. AI allowed me to create those things.
Absolutely.
My entire podcast production workflow now is, essentially automated with a switchboard that I created, using AI. It's incredible what you can do. And also as a bonus, you hear people talking about how much tokens cost now.
Yeah.
If you capture your workflows and build them into tools, you're not paying token costs every time you use them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Which is a significant thing. Absolutely. Yeah.
So how to use AI is an important question, but I think an even more important question today is how to use it well.
Yeah.
And when we see all the slop that we see everywhere, what I've called the AI obesity.
AI obesity?
Obesity in a few years ago. It's about, it's the same as those food chains where you go, you eat, it's great, it's sugary, you like it, you get high, but in the long term, it's not good for your health.
The benefits are not good, yes, long term.
And you get a crush just 1 hour after eating.
That's right.
And
So we need the AI Ozempic.
So using AI this way, meaning to do the creative work that you should be doing, to do the writing work that you should be doing, instead of using it the right way, meaning, first of all, reassembling all your ideas, what you want to do, what is your inspiration,
right,
and drafting something first.
Sure.
Then going into the AI and then asking it, am I in the right direction? What are the other options? What are the things that I could add to this to make it more me, and instead of going right away to AI and tell it, okay, create something for me. No, that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, because it should require some forethought. You don't want to just punch in a whole bunch of information. I mean, you can, but
it's definitely garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
Like if you point it in the wrong direction, it will go far and fast in the wrong direction.
That's right.
So first of all, you need to point it into the right direction, and then it needs to be the direction that you choose with the inspiration and the direction that you want it to be supported to go to.
That's right.
And that's so important. This intention is so important, and this lack of it explains the slop that we can see in being completely written by AI.
And you can see it, it.
Yeah, exactly. But this is something wrong for all of us, I think, because it's not bringing value to what we want. It's bringing quantity of low value information.
Yes.
In a world where we have already a lot of information and it's growing day by day.
Sure.
We don't need that. We don't want that. We need to go way of AI obesity, and we need to be AI wise.
Yes, right.
I think intention, but also iteration, meaning it's not to, one shot some output by giving it some direction and then taking that and post it right on LinkedIn.
Yes.
It's working with the AI as part of a process to really express yourself and achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve, as opposed to, again, trying to produce some slop.
Yeah, I love that. This is fantastic advice. And actually, I think this is a perfect place to kind of bookend the conversation. Gentlemen, my friends, I'm so happy we made this happen. This was not planned, but I'm so glad we did it. Sam, Pascal, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Look forward to hanging out beyond this not even an interview, this session. This friendly chat. And I hope to see you guys again somewhere else in person where we can do another one and just hang out.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, AB.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, AB.